What is OnSpec? It's a magazine. It's a literary journal. It specializes in literature of the fantastic, and it's a quarterly journal. Comes out 4 times a year. Basically, it starts by trying to get the stories. So we have to put out a call for submissions from writers. That comes in through our email. Okay, we'll accept submissions up to such and such a date, and then we say, here we go. Each of the editors reads stories. We cull the original, say 300 or so that come in down to about, say, 65 or 70. And at that point, everybody reads everything. Fight night is what we editors like to refer to as the night that we get together and basically discuss all the stories that we've read.
What did I say about this one? I really liked it. She said we had rejected it before because it was too long, so she rewrote. She removed 2 scenes. The person, yeah.
This is a second. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember this one distinctly because I liked the first one, sort of. And this one I actually like.
OnSpec is one of the only magazines I know right now that will give a writer advice with the reject. A lot of times, you know, they get you get a rejection slip from a publisher, and it just says, "Sorry, doesn't suit our needs at this time." But we have a lot of, Diane does a lot of this. She will say, we like this story, but, and then give the writer advice. And sometimes we don't want the story, but still the writer gets some advice on how to improve his or her work.
I'm not sure what it was about,
Yeah.
but it's fascinating.
That's what I thought. I said, this is the kind of story that people will read and reread.
I liked it better than the other one because they were very similar. And it kept me reading. But then when I read it a second time with this batch, I went, well, it's not really very exciting, is it? So I'm okay with not going there.
We're getting stories from Australia, we're getting stories from Hong Kong, we're getting from the States, from other parts of Canada, and more people are hearing about us. A lot of that is because of the internet, because of the writers' markets that are online, and they're everywhere. And so, you know, we're just sort of on that checklist. We accept stories that we like. We accept stories that are well written, stories that have strong characters, stories that are very strong genre stories.
Each of us brings something to the table that I think is unique, and I think that's what makes the magazine work, is a sense of always wanting to provide the best possible fiction that we can.
I think you find that every editor will have their own style. Every editor will sort of see something different in a story that other editors don't see.
One of the things that I discovered recently is that there are a lot of people out there that read OnSpec that I wouldn't suspect.
You know, the interesting thing is that we can't limit ourselves to only science fiction readers.
I gave my grandfather a copy of OnSpec and he's enjoyed it ever since.
You know, we can't say that you have to be a fan of the genre to be able to read OnSpec, because I've given copies of OnSpec to non-science fiction readers, and they loved it.
The stories that we purchase, that our editors select, are well written and have that fantastic element.
We go for stories that are very, very strongly character-driven, character-based, and we like the emotional part of the story. We're not too, I mean, we do like the technical stories, but at the same time there has to be a human element to them that drives the story, and there has to be a reason for why the reader wants to engage with that person. So that's what we look for.
We have stories that appeal to almost everyone who likes good stories and good literature.